The Yankees are down to 10 games left in their season, and they start a 3-game series tonight in Toronto. So let's bring in New York Post's Dan Martin to talk all things from Aaron Judge to the Yankees potentially clinching the AL East up north. All right, Dan, Judge hit number 60 on Tuesday night, but he hasn't homered since. What is it? Is he feeling the pressure? Do you think it's circumstances? Why do you think he hasn't hit 61 just yet?
Brandon, I think it's a combination of a few of those things. You know, the pressure certainly is getting to him. I think even he would admit that, you know, just this traveling army of people, of his family and the Maris family and the fans just wanting every time that he comes to the plate. You know, Aaron Boone has talked about this, that, you know, it's almost like a circus act that he's being asked to perform. You know, people just want him not just to get a base hit or a double. They demand a home run every time he comes up. So it's just kind of, you know, as good as Aaron Judge is at blocking things out, I think it's impossible that this pursuit and the pressure and the spotlight hasn't gotten to him a little bit. And as, you know, guys have pointed out, it's very hard to hit home runs, even though he makes it look easy at times. So I would think it will come soon. Maybe getting out of the Bronx will help. You know, it'll be a little bit less spotlight up here in Toronto than 50,000 people or 45,000 people on their feet with their phones out every single time. I don't think we'll see that here with the Blue Jays. So maybe that'll help him here in Toronto.
Yeah, pressure is a privilege, but I mean, that's a good pressure to have for him. So you just mentioned you're up in Toronto. They start their 3-game series against the Blue Jays. 1 is the lucky number, not only for Judge, but for the team. 1 win, and they clinch the AL East. Do you think that they're going to clinch it this week?
I sure hope so for their sake. You know, at this point, you know, they're playing really well. That's the other thing that's kind of taken some, I wouldn't say heat, but, you know, it'd be tougher on Judge if they weren't winning. But they've won 7 straight going into this game, despite him not hitting any home runs. So the team is playing great. And, you know, they've put that speed bump that they hit a couple of months ago behind them, or a few weeks ago, actually. They got, you know, that lead went down to 3.5 games. They were fighting for their division lead life, really, and now they've taken control of the division again. Whether they get it tonight or tomorrow, it'll happen, and I think they're relieved about that, and they know that Judge is going to get back on track. And I think just having guys like Bader back and healthy, you can see what he's doing to the lineup. So, you know, as the playoffs approach, they're getting their roster back. They're getting a little healthier now. They just need to get Judge back to being Judge, and they should be in good shape.
Yeah, you want to be playing your best baseball going into October. And you mentioned getting some guys back, getting guys healthier. If they do clinch, they're going to want Frankie Montas on the mound. But there's still some doubt on his potential availability for the ALDS. Can you give us an update on his injury and just the entire situation?
Yeah, the entire situation, as you said, is not great. You know, he's been a disappointment since he came here from Oakland, a trade deadline deal after they couldn't get Luis Castillo. He went to Seattle. Now he signed a big deal with the Mariners to stay there. He looks great. The Yankees settled for Frankie Montas, and he just hasn't looked good. You know, he dealt with a shoulder issue back in Oakland. It's cropped up again here. They don't know what they're going to get from him. It might be an opener. It might be out of the bullpen. Frankly, it might be nothing at all because, you know, if he's not right, they're not going to put him on the playoff roster, I don't think. Fortunately for their sake, you know, they've got Severino back. He looks good. He looks healthy. You know, Cole, they've got to figure out. That's a whole other issue. But, you know, Nestor Cortez pitched last night. It was great. You know, we've been waiting for him to kind of come back down to earth. And other than for a few starts there, and I think it was July, where he kind of looked normal, he's been fantastic. You know, if he gets 11 more innings the rest of the year in his next 2 starts, he's in position to have one of the best ERAs in the game. You know, right behind Justin Verlander, I guess. But he's been such a breath. A needed boost for that rotation that I don't think they expected to get for an entire season. So he makes up a lot for the loss of Montas, as does the return of Severino. So their rotation looks okay going in, even without Frankie Montas.
Dan, thanks for joining us. Enjoy Toronto.
Thanks, Brandon.